Man, dating 101. This is a real simple one right here. Watch this here. Dating 101. The first rule in dating is what? Date yourself first. I can't put enough emphasis on that. Y'all done heard this from every dating coach. You done heard this from every life coach. You done heard this from every pastor. Date yourself. Stop jumping from one relationship to the next. Take some time out, get to know who you are. Because of what? If you don't know who you are, you don't know what you want, you don't know what you need, and you don't know your desires. What makes dating yourself so pivotal is because you're able to eliminate the things that you don't want because you know who you are and you know exactly what you want. Man, it's just part one. I might make this a 10-part series. Leave a comment and tell me if y'all want another one like this here. Blessings. Dating rules 101, rule number 2. And what is that rule? Understanding your season. Yes. Now, we know you've already did rule number 1. Well, you've got to know yourself. You've dated yourself. You done did everything to get yourself well equipped. So now you got to know what season you're in. Are you in a season to where you're even ready to date yet? And the reason why I'm saying it is because you've dated yourself. You right, okay, but you dating yourself and getting to know yourself. You might have some things that you might need to fine tune. You need to go and get that degree. You might need to do a little bit more therapy. You might need to get a little bit more counseling. You may have to fine tune some things so you can be perfectly prepared for your partner that's going to come in the future. So if you're saying you're not ready to date, that may not mean that you're not equipped for it. That just means that you got to understand what season you're in, because you don't want anything that's going to knock you off your goals. So rule number 2 is what? Understanding your season. And you walking into a season of greatness. Blessings. Dating rule 101, rule number 3. Check this out now. Don't date until you are on your feet. Now, I'm going to tell you what that looks like. We got rule number 1 about dating yourself. We got rule number 2 of knowing what season you're in. And rule number 3 is don't even think about dating until you get on your feet. Let me show you why that's so important. No matter how much you date yourself, no matter how much you know what season you're in, if you don't have no finance, you don't need to even worry about no romance. You need to be able to take care of yourself. So therefore, you will not be a liability to someone else. I don't care about whatever goes on. You are not legally obligated to take care of nobody until they put a ring on it, husband or wife. So rule number 3, don't date until you get on your feet. Stay tuned for more. Bless. Dating rules 101, rule number 4. Think with your head and not your heart, because I want you to think about who you giving your heart to. You're in the dating game again. You got to realize that you got to look at all the mistakes you've made in the past. Think about the people that you gave your heart to and you wasn't thinking. Let me say it again, because I know we've all been there. Have you ever given your heart away without thinking? So this time we're going to do something a little different. We going to think before we love. Let me say it again for those. Sometimes we tend to love before we think, because we don't start thinking until after we break up with somebody, and then we think about it and say you should have never got with them in the first place. But we're going to fix it this time. Rule number 4, think with your head and not your heart. Because guess what? Before you can give your heart away, I want you to think about it. I want you to think before you give your love away. Tip number 4, blessings.